Next, I want to address the sex negatives out there in our culture. The culture that's fighting tooth and nail, sometimes, but not always, hand in hand with the rape culture, to try to suppress everything and anything that is enjoyable, whether it's done safely, responsibly, and without the presence or participation of children uh, of any kind because one thing has come to my attention. I've already mirrored the video, but I want to put my 2 cents in. There is a site literally out there called potentialprostitutes.com, whereby they take the photo and in some cases the information of suspected prostitutes and sex workers and puts them on their site, allowing for all kinds of harassments and shaming of these poor, dreadful women. Oh, you can get off the site, but you have to first prove that you're not an actual prostitute, which is disgusting in and of itself and an invasion of privacy. And then you have to pay to get off that site. Who does this benefit? Who is this for? Oh no, I'm worried that there might be a prostitute in my neighborhood. Just like, oh no, I'm worried that there might be a gun owner in my neighborhood. God, I'm repeating myself over and over again, and I swear, I feel like I've taken crazy pills. That scene from Zoolander is constantly playing in my head 24/7 because I'm just like, what the hell? Because, prostitutes are somehow a danger to society. Because Janet down the street, who you never suspected was a prostitute and who's never done anything bad for you, who is outside of her, even if, let's say for the sake of argument, Janet is a prostitute. You haven't known for years. Maybe she's a good friend of yours, or maybe she's an acquaintance. Maybe you see her around your apartment building. You're supposed to then become reactionary because you're supposed to be like, oh crap, Janet's a prostitute? I have to worry about her because of all the things that I've heard that prostitution leads to. She must be dirty. She must be germ and STD riddled. She's probably a drug dealer. I'm sure she's probably got a pimp because God forbid she actually goes into business for herself, because no, women aren't capable of doing that. Because remember, they have to be coerced. They have to be coerced by the male patriarchy because anytime a woman ever does anything uncharacteristic, a man has to be involved somehow because women are pure as the driven snow. They bear no responsibility for the things that they do because they are not like us. They cannot be chauvinist. They cannot be perverted. They cannot be any of the things that we ascribe to men only. And they cannot and must not have a libido like men. Oh, no, no, no. So somehow you're supposed to change your vision of this woman. Somehow you're supposed to think that she's a terrible person. If she's got kids, she's a terrible mom. She's a slut. She'll sleep with anybody. So anything you do to her, if you stalk her and you rape her, remember, she's a sex worker. So sluts and sex workers have no rights. They're not humans and they cannot be raped. So you can do whatever you want because they're a cum dumpster now. They've crossed one of those many invisible lines. God dang it, I'm repeating myself. These invisible social lines that we've drawn, they've offended that. Never mind that this could also be used for, oh, I hate my ex-girlfriend, so I'm going to send her picture over there. I'm going to make up a whole thing there were crack pipes in her apartment all the time. I only stayed with her because she gave great head, which isn't a surprise because it's part of her profession. And so I'm going to make her life a living hell because I have every right to do that because my pain means everything. And I have a right to express my pain in destructive manners that can ruin the lives of other people. Because, oh yeah, it's not that that if you ever get discovered that you're in a porno, that you could lose your job because the company needs to save face and try to distance itself away from somebody who they've known maybe sometimes 10 years and have never had a problem with. But oh no, they've done something sexual outside of a monogamous married relationship that happened to have gotten onto film and happened to get out of their bedroom and is somehow out there in the world doing damage. It's corrupting the children and teaching them that to slag off their parents, that pornography is good, that your life needs to be dedicated to the worship of pornography because of these sluts, these terrible non-women, non-human beings who we can do whatever we want to. In fact, we could go and rob them. What are they going to do? Go to the cops and say that somebody suspected them of prostitution and robbed them? Oh yeah, who's the cop going to believe? You or this slut, this whore, who deserves anything and everything she gets because she's not someone's mom. She's not someone's sister. She's not even somebody's daughter. She is garbage. She is scum. She is the thing that is tearing apart the moral fabric, that, that moral invisible fabric of society, simply by her very being. Every breath she draws, she breathes out her whore prostitute breath that will infect us all unless we stop them. Oh, won't somebody please think of the children? I think we're thinking a little too much of the children. In fact, so much so that I wonder who's really the sickos here, the people who search out these, this internet child porn, or the people who think about it so much more than even the predators and situational rapists who go after that sort of thing. But I digress. Why does this need to exist? What possible purpose does this serve? What possible threat do these women, and then I'm saying if they even are prostitutes, if you don't know that Jane down the lane is a sex worker, then what does that knowledge mean to you? If you've known her for 10 years, if you've let her play with your kids or babysit them, and nothing as bad as ever happened, oh, suddenly now, retroactively, she's hurt your kids by proxy. This is no different than the people who had a problem with the fact that I repeat, porn star, retired porn star Sasha Grey had the audacity to go to a kindergarten class and read a children's story to the children. Oh, no, she didn't. Because, her whoreness somehow radiates beyond her. And even when she's reading Go Dog Go, she may as well be reading letters to penthouse forums. Because, that's how that works. The fact that she has ever been in contact with multiple penises and vaginas, I'm not too familiar with Miss Gray's work, surprisingly enough, right? But because of that, somehow that will corrupt that kindergarten class, even though she dressed very modestly. She wasn't showing off the goods. She wasn't it's not like she was passing out dildos and copies of her videos to these kindergarten kids. Yet the fact that she has ever in her life been a slut, a whore, somehow has to mean something to these kindergartners. Somehow it has to corrupt them because she is the devil. She is beyond redemption. She is a cum dumpster. And how dare a cum dumpster give of her time to kids who don't know her from a hole in the wall? Oh my God. This site does not need to exist. And I am with others in calling for people to spam the fuck out of that site because this is disgusting. This serves no function other than to continue the furthered sex negative view that society has, that the moment that you enjoy sex work, oh, you must have been touched as a child, or you must be on drugs. Somehow you were coerced, because no woman in her right mind would willingly choose to do this work. Only whores and sluts choose to do this work, and they cease to be a person the moment they ever take sex for money as a transaction there. You know, the moment they do that, they have crossed that invisible societal borderline or boundary line, and they cease to be a person, and we can do whatever we want to them because they're not human, they're sluts. I mean, come on. Surely this point makes so much sense to everybody else, right? I'm sorry, but my faith in humanity is seriously being tested, and it's lowering down every day that I come across stories like this.